Tonight, you're going to turn off the television. You're going to set your phone face down. And for the first time all day, the room is going to go quiet. Your ears are going to ring. Your chest is going to tighten. And you're going to reach for something, anything, to make a sound again. Why? You'd think silence would feel like relief. It doesn't. For most people, it feels like pressure. It feels like waiting for something to happen. But the real answer is far stranger than stress or boredom. Your discomfort with silence isn't a modern glitch. It's an ancient alarm system, still wired into your skull, still doing the job it was built for 100,000 years ago. Start with your ears. They never turn off. Even asleep, your auditory system keeps scanning the environment, hunting for anything unusual. This is called the orienting response, first mapped in detail by the Russian psychophysiologist Yevgeny Sokolov in the 1960s. He found that your brain builds a kind of internal model of normal sound, a hum, a breeze, a ticking clock. The moment something breaks that model, your body reacts before you even consciously register the sound. Heart rate shifts, muscles tense, attention snaps toward the source. Now flip it. What happens when sound disappears entirely? Your brain doesn't relax. It searches harder. No baseline hum to compare against means no way to know if something dangerous is approaching. Silence removes your early warning system. And for nearly all of human history, losing your early warning system meant losing your life. Picture your ancestors on the open grassland 60,000 years ago. Constant background noise, insects, wind, distant animals, meant the environment was stable. Nothing was creeping closer. But sudden silence? That was the signal predators had learned to create. A stalking lion doesn't announce itself. The birds go quiet first. The insects stop. Experienced trackers still use this today, reading silence as the loudest warning a landscape can give. Your ancestors who flinched at unexpected quiet, who treated stillness as a threat, survived to raise children. The ones who shrugged it off did not. That reflex got passed down. You inherited it. It's still running, even in your bedroom, even with the doors locked. This is where the story usually gets treated as an old wives' tale. It isn't. Neuroscientist Joseph Ledoux spent decades mapping exactly how this circuit works, tracing the pathway from your ears to your amygdala, the almond-shaped structure that decides, in milliseconds, whether something counts as danger. Ledoux showed that this pathway can trigger a full threat response before the thinking part of your brain even catches up. You don't decide to feel uneasy in silence. Your amygdala decides for you. Your conscious mind just gets the bill afterward, in the form of a tight chest and a restless urge to make noise. So you fill the silence. You always have. But here's the twist almost nobody expects. In 2014, a team led by psychologist Timothy Wilson at the University of Virginia ran an experiment that became instantly famous and slightly infamous. They put people alone in a bare room for 15 minutes with absolutely nothing to do. No phone, no book, just their thoughts and the quiet. Then they gave those same people the option to administer a mild electric shock to themselves just to have something to do. You'd assume almost nobody would choose pain over boredom. You'd be wrong. A significant portion of participants, including many who had said beforehand they would pay money to avoid being shocked, chose to shock themselves rather than sit with unstructured silence. Some shocked themselves repeatedly. The discomfort of quiet stillness outweighed the discomfort of actual physical pain. This explains something you've probably noticed but never quite named. You turn on background noise the moment you're alone. Music while you cook. A podcast while you clean. The television left on in an empty room, not for the content, just for the presence of sound. This isn't a failure of discipline. It's not a modern addiction to stimulation, at least not entirely. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it evolved to do, treating the absence of sound as a gap that needs to be closed, before something else closes it for you. Even your sleep habits carry this fingerprint. Notice how a sudden silence, a fridge shutting off, an air conditioner stopping, can jolt you awake faster than a loud noise ever could. Researchers studying sleep arousal thresholds have found this pattern consistently. It isn't the loudness that wakes you, it's the change. Your brain was never built to monitor for noise. It was built to monitor for difference. And total silence after a long stretch of ambient sound is the biggest difference of all. There's a deeper layer here, too, one that goes beyond simple threat detection. Silence strips away distraction, and distraction was one of the great gifts of a busy, sound-filled savanna. The constant background hum of insects and wind and distant herds that kept your ancestors' minds occupied with the outside world instead of turned inward. Without that noise, attention has nowhere else to go. It turns back on itself. Thoughts you've been avoiding all day surface uninvited. Worries you buried under meetings and traffic and notifications finally get the floor. This is part of why silence can feel less like rest and more like confrontation. It's not just your ears searching for danger outside. It's your mind, finally unoccupied, searching for whatever you've been outrunning inside. Understanding this doesn't make the discomfort disappear, but it does change what the discomfort means. That tightness in your chest when the room goes quiet isn't a personal weakness. It isn't proof that you can't sit still or that something is wrong with you. It's 100,000 years of ancestors who survived by treating silence as information, passed down through you, still firing exactly as designed. So tonight, when you turn off the television and the room goes quiet, notice what happens in your body before you reach for your phone. Notice the ears straining, the chest tightening, the old alarm quietly asking its ancient question. You don't have to answer it the way your ancestors did. You're not on an open grassland. There is no lion in the grass. But the wiring doesn't know that yet, and it may never fully catch up. The silence was never actually empty. It was always the loudest sound your ancestors ever learned to listen for. And in some deep, wordless part of you, it still is.